The War Council chamber of the Galactic Coalition was tense with static energy. Holographic displays hovered in the center of the room, showing the impossible. A Zorith war fortress, drifting near the Veil Nebula, bristling with weapons and shield arrays. The fortress had annihilated every fleet sent against it, leaving wreckage fields as grim warnings. Delegates of dozens of species filled the chamber, voices overlapping in panic. "It cannot be destroyed," rasped Counselor Trakith, his eye stalks twitching. "The shields absorb everything. Even if we breach them, the armor is kilometers thick." "Suicide," hissed another. "To attack such a thing is suicide." And then, in the back of the chamber, a human cleared his throat. Captain Jack Ramirez of Earth leaned forward, arms folded casually. His uniform was wrinkled, and a faint grin played on his lips. "Suicide, huh? Sounds like a Tuesday back home." The chamber fell silent. Alien eyes, multifaceted and glowing, swiveled toward him in disbelief. Trakith sputtered, "You cannot be serious. You intend to face that fortress? With your little Death World fleet?" Jack's grin widened. "Exactly. Hold my beer." Hours later, the human fleet assembled at the edge of the nebula. To the other species, their ships looked underwhelming, smaller, rougher, lacking the sleek elegance of coalition vessels. But the crews were steady, their voices calm across comms. For humanity, this was just another impossible challenge. The Zorith fortress stirred, detecting their approach. Massive guns pivoted, shields flared like suns, and the alien warlords laughed across open channels. "Foolish Deathworlders, your bones will decorate our halls." On the bridge of the human flagship Indomitable, Jack lit a stick of gum and chewed lazily. "All right, team, remember the plan. Fast, stupid, and crazy enough that nobody sane would try it." The battle began in chaos. Human frigates shot forward, engines redlining, weaving through incoming plasma fire like hornets. Instead of firing directly at the fortress, they launched salvos of decoy drones and sensor jammers, flooding the Zorith targeting systems with ghost signals. The aliens laughed again. "Pathetic tricks. You cannot pierce our shields." But then came the second wave. Human destroyers loaded with experimental rail slugs fired not at the fortress itself, but at the asteroids surrounding the nebula. Massive rocks shattered, debris clouds forming high-velocity shrapnel storms. The Zorith shields flared as they absorbed the impacts, but in doing so, their energy distribution fluctuated. That was when the third wave struck. From the Indomitable launched a squadron of jury-rigged dropships, painted with crude slogans and grins. Packed inside were human marines in hardened exosuits. They weren't carrying heavy weapons, they carried charges, hacking gear, and grit. The aliens on the fortress scoffed. "Board us? Impossible. The shields." And then their voices broke off in alarm as the debris storm, timed perfectly, forced a microsecond shield flicker, just long enough for the dropships to punch through. Inside the fortress, chaos erupted. Human marines stormed the corridors, using shotguns, blades, and sheer audacity. They didn't march in neat lines or follow predictable tactics, they improvised. One squad welded blast doors shut behind them, trapping entire alien regiments. Another hacked life support systems, venting sections of the fortress into vacuum. On the command deck, the Zorith warlord shrieked in fury. "They cannot win. They are ants in a giant's home." But Jack's voice crackled over the fortress comms. "Funny thing about ants, buddy. If enough of us get in your house, we tear the whole damn thing down." An hour later, the impossible had happened. The Zorith fortress, terror of the nebula, erupted in fire as its core went critical. Human marines evacuated on stolen shuttles, laughing and swearing, dragging prisoners and trophies with them. From afar, the coalition counselors watched the feed in stunned silence. The war fortress was gone. The humans had succeeded where every other fleet had failed. Trakith finally managed to croak. "They said it was suicide," and beside him, Ambassador Carter of Earth simply smiled. "Yeah, and we said, hold our beer."